Hey y'all, this is I'm sorry, Mister. Hey y'all, it's your girl, and you already know. Y'all already know what to do. I ain't even got to say like, share, and subscribe. Okay, how y'all doing, real deal? But let y'all know what's going over there in Israel. I know y'all probably don't want to know, but it's jihad, y'all. They call it jihad, Jihad. Okay, jihad is literally means striving or doing one's utmost. Okay, utmost within Islam. There are basic two. There are two basic theological understanding of the word. The greater jihad is the struggle against the lower self, the struggle to purify one's heart, do good, avoid evil, and make oneself a better person. Now, over there in Islam, okay, what are the three types of jihad in Islam? Yusuf, Kwehawe divided jihad into three levels. Now, Yusuf did this, okay? Jihad against the visible enemies. You got the second jihad against the Satan temptation, and the third jihad against the worldly lust. Okay, and what is the purpose of jihad? What they doing now over there is the purpose of jihad. While often are equated with holy war. It's like a holy war they doing. I don't understand that. It's a holy war. Jihad generally means a religiously inspired effort or struggle towards a goal of a spiritual, personal, political, and military nature. Okay? And I know y'all wonder, why are they fighting over there? If it's supposed to be all of that. That's what you self divided into three. So what we're gonna do is take a look at this video and give you more understanding of what's going on, okay? All right.
In the meantime, at least 4 Israelis were taken hostage by Hamas over the weekend. They were killed shortly after that, according to the terror group. And newly surfaced video shows Hamas militants walking with those civilians whose hands are tied behind their backs. In another video, 4 lifeless bodies with the same physical characteristics as the hostages are seen in the street, dead. Our next guest recognized her mother's cousin as one of the hostage victims in that video. Leelle Slifer joins us right now. Leelle, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I know this is going to be a tough story to talk about. Your mother's cousin, Kinneret.
Yeah.
You saw her in one of those videos. You knew she was alive. She had been taken hostage. Then what happened?
She texted us that morning. She was in the house with her husband, her daughter, her son, and her daughter-in-law, and her little granddaughter, 3 years old. They were all there celebrating the holiday. And she said she was safe. And then we started seeing videos from the terrorists that she'd been taken, reports from her husband that their daughter was taken, their son, their daughter-in-law, their granddaughter. And we just kept searching for news, and we didn't know for so many days.
Right.
And then I saw the video online, and I had to tell my family in Israel that I had seen Kinneret laying on the ground lifeless, and we still haven't recovered her body yet.
Oh. In addition to that terrible story, her son and his wife and their daughter, right there, we're looking at an image right there, they were also taken. They were put in a car by Hamas.
They were.
Then what happened?
So they tied Alon's hands. He's Kinneret's son. They tied him together. They pushed the 3 of them into a truck with 4 terrorists. They put another member of their kibbutz in the trunk and drove off towards Gaza. Along the way, they saw a tank and the terrorists stopped the car and they got out. And at that moment, Alon and Yarden knew that if they didn't do something, they would be as good as dead. And so they jumped. They ran from the car. Yarden holding on to her 3-year-old daughter, Geffen. And when she couldn't hold Geffen any longer, she passed her to Alon, whose hands were still tied. And they just ran. Alon hid in that field with his little girl for 24 hours until he stopped hearing gunfire and shouting and searching and made his way back to the kibbutz, and thank God they're alive. But Yarden had to hide somewhere else, and we don't know what happened to her. Alon went back the next day and searched, and we haven't found her body or any sign of her. And we have to assume the worst has happened. She's been taken hostage in Gaza.
Say it.
She's with Carmel and so many others, not just Israelis, Americans and citizens from all over the world.
The not knowing has got to be the hard part. You know, you don't know if she is alive. You don't know if she's dead. If she's alive, which is good news, the bad news is she's a human shield.
Yeah.
Hamas has told us what they're doing. They've told us for years. This isn't resistance fighters. Calling it war crimes is even charitable. This is jihad.
Yeah.
There are no rules in jihad. They're raping women in fields. They're beheading babies. They're executing the elderly in the street. They're taking back to Gaza to use as human shields. It's appalling. And the world has to step up and get these hostages out.
How are we going to do that? I know I have heard the Daily Mail's got a story right now that apparently the Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 are in an adjacent country. And if the Israeli military says we need the American help, they could come and perhaps, it's pure speculation, help extract some of the hostages. We also understand apparently hostage negotiation from the United States. We've got some great organizations, the FBI, the military, they can do it. And they're working with their Israeli counterparts. But as you know, Leelle, the problem is, as we look at Gaza City, there's a real good chance that the wife, your family member, is underneath one of those buildings that has not been hit yet. And as much as you want justice for your family, you got to know that she could be under, at the bottom of the next tower that gets blown up.
It's unimaginable. It's the worst nightmare possible. And not only that, we're sending my cousins, my friends who've been called up into the reserves into Gaza to try to extract them. This is not the end of the death toll. There will be more to come. It's unimaginable. And I pray that Carmel and Yarden will come home safely. But you're exactly right. Hamas will stop at nothing. They're using these people as pawns. They don't want a two-state solution. They want the final solution. And they don't care how many Jews, how many Americans, how many of their own people have to die in order for them to wage their jihad.
Leelle, thank you
Thank
for
you.
telling your story and telling us about your mother's cousin.
Thank you.
Y'all, this is so sad. But this is where they live. This is how they live. These are their rules. So I wonder what we're supposed to do about their rules. And y'all see how Americans go and help other countries, but here we got people over here that died in other countries, like Shaquella Robinson died in Mexico, and we can't even get her no help. Y'all like, share, and subscribe.